Coach, you talked about moments in the game, and despite that try where that thing was scored on you, where Sergio Peterson went down there, you were still in the game very late, just a few minutes left in the game, about 7, if I recall correctly, and you had phase after phase after phase. You gave credit to the Bulls, some great defense there. Would you say that was probably the moment that might not have been able to secure that win late in the game, about 74th minute, when you couldn't break through and get that try?
Definitely, like that's it, isn't it? Like, so obviously missed a conversion, so it's a 5-point game. For us, we're on the attack, pounding away, whatever it is, 20 odd phases, is it? And Bulls hold firm, and we can't quite get across the line, and they come up with a turnover, and we never really get another decent opportunity again. So, listen, it's frustrating from our point of view. We probably had chances earlier on in the game. As I said, in the first half, you go back to that point. If you build a bit more of a lead, it forces the Bulls into playing slightly differently, doing things, trying to chase the game. So unfortunately, we don't get to that point. So, as you point out, like, it's a good aerial contest that they win, and yes, that is the game, unfortunately.
But he must be loving life,
Yeah.
Talking about he's probably going to buy a lotto ticket tomorrow as well.
Yes, Jake, I want to ask you about defense, but first I want to ask, do you think you surprised Leinster with your kicking game tonight? As you said, Hussein and Vili were unbelievable. The performance was sublime. The ball went where it needed to go, went as deep, and you really gained a lot from the game. Do you think that surprised Leinster?
I did. I think if Jacques did his homework, which I'm sure he did, they would have wanted to play contestables. They beat us in Dublin, and basically, I remember, one of the things, and again, you guys go look at that game. We kicked an up and under. One of the players caught it from an up and under. He offloaded again, and I think there was a line break, and Josh van der Vlier scored under the poles. So we just decided today what we're going to do is we're not going to give them, because almost that play is like a line out. It's like a line out attack for them. They catch it, move it, and before you know it, it's already on the other side of the field. So I think they were surprised because we didn't give them that, and I want to say that set piece, because theoretically that catch from that kick is almost like a starter play from a set piece. And we got it wrong sometimes. I mean, a charge down, and Vili once or twice, they had to dummy and get out because the pressure was on them. But I think there's no doubt that we surprised them by not giving them the ball they actually wanted to attack from.
And are you going to sit down with Gary this week and ask him, what the heck, how do we do this? Because you had a defense that was disciplined, and it held its own over 20 phases there late in the game, and that really probably is when the game was secured, at least at that point. Yeah. How are they going to get it right? Gary seemed to, what did you do this week, and what did you do next week?
I don't want to take anything away from Gary. Obviously, he's worked a hell of a hard on getting it. I think the one thing that's significantly different is that our players looked in their eyes today when we warmed up that they were going to defend. And one thing about a South African player, when he decides he's going to defend, it becomes very difficult to beat them. I always say, Kakamas large school playing against Pofada. They might not score many tries, but they tackle the hell out of each other. And today it looked like that. It looked like everyone was never going to let you get through. And that's also credit to the fact that Leinster, they can attack. We knew that. We knew. The one play that I'm not saying disappointed, but really caught me is when they did that one line-up play, and they ended up, it was almost too easy for them to get down the edge there. But to allow them to make one line break like that from a set piece is actually it's a good afternoon, because they've been doing that to international sides week in and week out, and I'm talking about as in for Ireland and as in for Leinster.